Am I the astronaut for confronting my sister over allowing dogs to her wedding and not children? My 34 female sister, 26 female, got married a few weeks ago. When she sent the invite, she stated it was a child-free wedding, which, while was disappointing for my two kids, 13 and 11, was understandable. We've had a few child-free weddings in my family. It sucks, but there was always someone to babysit the kids. She gets along great with my kids. They love their Aunt Stacy. She even offers to take them places during the summer, museums, movies, etc., without any prompts. They were a little disappointed, my daughter especially, because she and my sister bonded in a big sister, little sister sort of way during planning. She even helped pick out the centerpieces for the tables. So when I told my kids they couldn't come, Megan was quite upset and cried that night. I talked to her about how her aunt just wanted to ensure her guests were able to be themselves, and if they got a little too wild, they weren't doing it in front of children, etc. Weddings can be a little wild, and with Stacy's guest list being a much more younger crowd, that kinda was what happened. It was an outdoor wedding with a lot of space. I noticed a guest had a dog with her and just assumed it was a medical alert dog, but then several other guests came with dogs, and they were running around, engaging with guests, barking loudly, and well, doing what dogs do on grass. When we started dancing, the dogs were chasing each other through the dance floor and even caused a guest to trip and fall. They were okay. I was upset, but again, it's my sister's wedding. I didn't say anything to her and honestly wasn't going to. That is, until Stacy invited me and Megan to lunch to look at the pictures. Megan declined. She was still upset, but I went and we had a good lunch. When I saw the pictures, I noticed there were several pictures of just the dogs. I asked Stacy if she was going to post those on social, and she said yes. Knowing Megan would see them, I told her the truth behind Megan not wanting to come to lunch. I told her about Megan and how she hurt her feelings. And now she was insulted because her aunt picked dogs over her to go to the wedding. I told Stacy she needs to apologize to Megan if she ever wanted to repair the relationship they once had. Stacy didn't say anything, left some money on the table, and walked away. Our mom started to text me saying I needed to apologize to Stacy for the way I lashed out at her, and that Megan is a kid and she'll get over this, but Stacy will now feel bad about her entire wedding. Stacy's maid of honor even texted me saying that if Stacy wanted 100 dogs and no kids, it was her wedding and my kid shouldn't be upset over not going. Now I wonder if I should have kept my mouth shut and not ruined my sister's memory of her wedding by telling her that her niece now resents her for her choices. Boy, this is a fuster cluck. Okay.
I think both things can be true. Stacy gets to have whatever she wants at her wedding because it is her wedding, but that doesn't mean that the niece who feels like her sister doesn't get to be upset. Like, those are her feelings. So both things can be happening at the same time.
What OP said to Stacy was that she was upset and that Stacy needed to apologize or she would resent her. But why does OP's daughter feel the way that she feels? There are two factors there. One is Stacy included her in the planning process and they kind of had a little bonding going on there. I feel like Stacy missed an opportunity to talk to her before sending the invites to clarify that it was going to be child-free and that this, because it was going to be child-free, she was including her in this process so she could still be part of it. So there would have been clarification. Nobody would have been surprised there. I feel like Stacy dropped the ball there, but it is her wedding, her choice. I feel like the other reason that OP's daughter is upset is because of OP. Because OP made it a thing, right? OP made it a thing whenever she was talking about the dogs. She made it a thing. Well, actually, OP hasn't told her daughter about the dogs being there yet.
She asked if they were going to be posted to social media where her daughter would see them.
So her daughter was already hers. So I feel like at this point, like, you can say, hey, I think Megan's going to feel this way. Stop there. I don't think you can say you need to apologize. Right. You need to reach out. No, she's a big girl. She's a married woman. Let her handle her own shit. You can give her a heads up that Megan might be upset when she sees these, but you can't tell her what to do either. I do think if Stacy would have clarified this with Megan ahead of time, it would have avoided this whole mess, and then she could have enjoyed and treasured being a part of the planning process a little bit better here. So it's almost kind of an ESH.
That's what I was going to say.
Not for having dogs instead of kids there, but for not communicating that ahead of time to somebody who really got their hopes up because they were part of the process.
100%. ESH.
OP says she just saw that it was kid free at the wedding.
Yeah, because OP didn't know that dogs were like invited or whatever until she got
there. And it was dogs running around, which sounds like a really fun wedding, honestly. And I mean, like, dogs are not the same thing as kids, and if the kid's not being there was because they wanted to get rowdy and not worry about being rowdy in front of kids, they don't have to worry about being rowdy and a little tipsy in front of dogs, right? I mean, our dogs would judge us, but
I do think Stacy, like, going and getting her mom involved and her maid of honor texting OP. I don't know. I don't like that.
Yeah,
She could have
calling
kept
in the troops was.
she could have kept it between her and her sister, and she could have gotten upset about it, but then communicated to her sister. Like, I don't know. Just when you bring in other people and then they're attacking the person you're mad at, like, it's just, especially when it's a mom who's supposed to be neutral, like, it's very messy.
That's war. Like, you're starting a war. You're taking a
messy.
a personal one-on-one conversation and turning into a war at that point, which is not cool. So I think there are a couple of steps that were missed here that could have avoided a lot of drama.
Stacy's a bigger asshole than OP for me because of that.
I would agree.